Camera zoom in ext Lee and Kim family home, day, *. The Lee and Kim families share a large, traditional house with two separate entrances, one on the ground floor for the Kims and another on the first floor for the Lees. Despite the separate entrances, there is a connecting door inside, allowing the families to move freely between the two homes. The families have been inseparable for generations, and their bond is stronger than ever. Y/N and Taehyung's grandparents built this house, and the two families live together in perfect harmony. Every evening, they have dinner together, sometimes in the Kim's dining room on the ground floor and sometimes upstairs with the Lees. Y/N and Taehyung, who have grown up together in this loving environment, have secretly been in a relationship for 2 years. Despite their deep feelings for each other, they're unsure how their parents would react if they found out. They've been keeping their relationship under wraps, fearing it might disrupt the close-knit family dynamic. The Lee and Kim families have shared more than just a home. They've shared love, laughter, and a bond that goes beyond friendship. But within this bond, a secret love has blossomed. * Camera zoom out. Y/N sits on her bed, flipping through an old photo album. Each picture brings back memories of her and Taehyung's childhood. Her smile fades as she touches her stomach, feeling a mix of excitement and fear. She's been feeling unwell lately and decided to take a pregnancy test after discussing her symptoms with her best friend. Y/N's phone buzzes with a missed call from Taehyung. She tries to call him back but gets no answer. Panicked, she decides to check the garden, where Taehyung usually sits when he needs to think. Y/N, to herself, nervously, I hope he's there. But sadly finds no one. She lays on bed and tries to sleep and eventually falls asleep. Camera zoom out. Camera zoom in int. Y/N's bathroom, morning, YN wakes up and again tries to call Tae, which was transferred to voicemail. She again went to the balcony and checked here and there for a glimpse of Tae. While Y/N is on the balcony, her mother, Mrs. Lee, heads into Y/N's bathroom to use it, since Mr. Lee is in their bathroom. She spots the pregnancy test on the sink and examines it, her eyes widening in shock. She grabs the test and storms out of the bathroom. Mrs. Lee, shouting Y/N. Get down here right now. Y/N rushes inside, her heart racing. Mrs. Lee holds up the test, her face a mix of confusion and anger. Y/N, terrified, Mom, please, just let me explain. Mrs. Lee, furious, explain? Explain why you didn't tell us you were pregnant? And who's the father? Mr. Lee, hearing the commotion, joins them in the living room. Mrs. Lee shows him the test, and he looks at Y/N with an incredulous expression. Mr. Lee, exasperated, seriously, Y/N. You couldn't have told us sooner? How could you hide something like this? Y/N, crying, I was scared. I didn't know how you'd react. And Taehyung. Mrs. Lee, interrupting, Taehyung? You mean that boy who's always here? What does he have to say about this? Y/N tries calling Taehyung again, but he doesn't answer. The tension escalates, and Mrs. Lee starts scolding her. Mrs. Lee, exasperated, I spent years raising you and you just go and hide this? You had us all worried, and now, the Kims, hearing the commotion, come upstairs. Mrs. Kim immediately rushes to Y/N and pulls her into a comforting hug. Mrs. Kim, relax. YN calmed down. Mrs. Lee, she is Mrs. Kim, hold it. She said with a reassuring gaze. She took YN and walked out towards the living room and sat there on one of the couches. Mrs. Kim, soothingly, Y/N, sweetie, it's okay. We're here for you. Just tell us, whose child is it? Y/N sobs, her face buried in Mrs. Kim's shoulder. Mrs. Lee, loudly, losing patience, whose child are you carrying? Camera zoom out. The door opens, and Taehyung walks in, looking confused and worried. He sees the tense atmosphere and tries to understand what's going on. When he hears Mr. Lee's shout, he steps forward, his voice steady. Taehyung, calmly, it's mine. The room goes silent as everyone processes Taehyung's words. Y/N's eyes widen with relief and surprise, and she rushes into Taehyung's arms, hugging him tightly. Kim, shocked Taehyung, is this true? Taehyung, nodding yes. Y/N and I have been together for 2 years. The baby is mine. The families are stunned. They had always seen Taehyung and Y/N as siblings, never imagining that their relationship could be something more. But as the shock wears off, a wave of relief and happiness replaces the tension. Ali, sighing, I knew something was up when you both kept sneaking around. You could have just told us. We wouldn't have been so worried if you had just communicated. Kim, gently, it's okay, Mrs. Lee. We were planning to get them married anyway. That's why we called for a special dinner tonight. Y/N, confused you were. But we thought. Lee, grinning, we wanted to surprise you both. We always knew you two were perfect for each other, but you took matters into your own hands. So, we'll just skip the surprise and start planning the wedding. Ali, smiling, looks like our grandchild will have 2 very loving families. And we're going to have a lot of fun planning this wedding. Y/N, relieved, wait, you're not angry. Kim, shaking her head, angry? We're thrilled. Our families are about to become even closer. We're just happy you both found each other. The room fills with laughter as the families embrace, the tension melting away. Taehyung and Y/N look at each other, their worries finally laid to rest. Taehyung, whispering to Y/N, can you believe this? We're getting married. Y/N, smiling, I can't believe it. But I'm so happy. The families start discussing wedding plans with excitement, and Y/N and Taehyung are surrounded by love and support. The evening is filled with joy as the families celebrate together. The dinner that was meant to announce the arranged marriage has turned into a celebration of an already existing love. Y/N and Taehyung sit side by side, their hands intertwined under the table. Taehyung, playfully, next time, maybe just tell us if there's a big announcement. Y/N, laughing, I'll try to remember that. Ali, jokingly, just make sure not to hide anything else from us. We might have to start checking your room for secrets. Everyone laughs, and the room is filled with warmth and happiness. Y/N and Taehyung exchange loving glances, knowing that their love story is just beginning. Kim, excitedly, let's get this wedding planning started. I've got so many ideas. The families enthusiastically discuss wedding details, their excitement palpable. Y/N and Taehyung are finally at ease, surrounded by the people they love.